What up, man? The real Coach JB here on another episode of Chalk Talk with Coach JB. Today, we're going to break down power option, whether you shovel it, keep it with the QB and run triple option, or whether you shovel it off the defensive end and throw it to the back to protect the quarterback, which is still a form of triple option. I like to call it a form of double option to keep the quarterback protected. So if you don't have an athletic QB, I'm going to show you how to run shovel option, power option, whatever you want to call it, without running the quarterback. I will also break down how to shovel and pitch off the intended read key to run triple option. We're going to break down both, depending on the style of quarterback you have, depending on if you don't want to manipulate your offense and continue to stay true to what you do, and you don't have that quarterback that particular year, guess what? There's other ways to skin a cat. We're going to break that down right here on another episode of Coach JB's Chalk Talk. I'll see you on the other side.
Because this is what it's all for. It's all about this. You play for this. No matter what level you're at, you play for championship.
There's an interview, and we're going to make sure that I find out what does this guy know. There's always an opportunity if you understand somebody's watching you. All right. Before I show you some film, let me break down the play that I'm going to show you and break it down in totality so you understand what it is I'm discussing. So let's go to the board. Let's get to the board so I can show you what I'm going to show you on film. All right. First of all, we're going to talk power option. And we're going to talk about how I run it and how we're going to show it. So based on the defensive end, let's just say, let's run it to the shade for shits and giggles. And we'll run a little even front. And let's just say, for instance, we got what we call a wing player here, a tailback here. All right. Let's just say we're going to use him for the shovel, and we're going to use him for the either pitch, or we can run him on a pass route concept since this ball is shoveled behind the line of scrimmage. Okay. So make sure we're clear on what we're doing. So here we go. We're going to make squares the read key for number one. We're going to make circles the read key for number two. All right. So we're going to square him because he is what we call one. That is the give read or the shovel read in this instance. We are going to call him number two, the pitch key. All right. Based on what we have alignment wise. All right. Let's just say we got one receiver out here and don't worry about that. Let's just consider this right here. We'll get to a different front later. But let's just say he's one and he's two for this play. So what we're going to do is what we call a hi-hat. We want a hi-hat. I want a hi-hat and influence, especially to the shade side. Because why? He don't have a three tech. He doesn't have to deuce this. He doesn't have to double team it. So guess what? Let's hi-hat it, because what do we want to do with a non-athletic quarterback? We want to shovel the football with him. We want to make it as easy as possible for him. If he's not a runner, let's make sure we can get the football to our athlete based on scheme. So let's hi-hat the defensive end to get him up the field thinking it's pass. So we'll hi-hat it, and then his rule is going to go to the backside backer, all right? We're going to hi-hat it. We're going to go to the backside backer. These two right here are going to perform a little ace check. He's going to go back. We call it a cat block. We're going to center and tackle. We're going to make sure that three tech don't get upfield because our guard is pulling. Okay? Our guard is pulling, so we want to make sure that three technique on the backside don't penetrate and take our shovel guy away. So we're going to call what we call a cat, center and tackle. Okay, he's going to make sure we hinge that backside. We'll zip block it, squeeze it, sift it, whatever you guys call it terminology-wise. That's what we'll do on the backside of that 3 technique, especially if this 3 technique is a bitch of a player and he can go. So we can't just skip, pull, and leave. We got to get back there, and it's a bitch for a center to go all the way back to a 3 technique. So you might want to come up with a scheme to make sure maybe we only run this play to the 3 instead of to the shade. That way my center has a little easier block on the back block. We can break this down in many ways, but what we're going to do is we're going to make this to the shade for right now. We're going to hi-hat. We're going to go back to the backside backer. We're going to go down to the 3. We're going to cat it. Now we'll sift that and come back and hinge that defensive end up the field. And now the wing back is going to come underneath for the shovel. The QB is going to get width and depth to pull this defensive end and influence him out there, not only with the influence hi-hat tackle, but also with our speed of lateral and depth. We want to get lateral and wide and fast. Now, we want to sprint out there to really influence that defensive end to create this shovel lane, okay? Now, our back is going to stay 4x1 or 5x2, depending on your rules and your schematics. So how you teach it. I'm a 5x2 guy. I've been a 4x1 guy. Just depends. In high school, I'm a 5x2. College, I'm 4x1. Why? Because these guys are always cheating in high school. They don't understand landmarks. They don't understand width. They don't understand depth. So we want to make sure we influence the shit out of it. We emphasize 5x2. 5 yards wide, 2 yards deep, okay, from the QB. So our pitch relationship is key. It is critical. So we want to make sure now, defensive end went up the field. The QB is sprinting, and now we're going to shovel with our offhand to this wing back, follow the guard, touchdown, right? In the perfect world. Okay, that's one way, okay? So that's a lot being said right there, but that's a way to keep the QB high and dry, what we kind of like to say, all right? Let's just go back to the same play and redo it, okay? So, tailback here, QB, the wing, same play. Boom, hi-hat influence, back, cat it, boom, wrap, sift that. Wing is coming. He's there, QB. Defensive end now vacates. He cancels. He wrong arms it. He squeezes. Whatever it is he's doing on defense, now he takes away the shovel. So, the QB is now full go looking for what? Number 2, that is our pitch key. All right. Now, unless you deal with him with a slot, meaning we're going to go spill the alley, block him, then who becomes number 2? Is it the alley strong safety? Is it the Sam linebacker sitting out here? Whoever you determine number 2, which is our pitch key, that is who you pitch off of. Okay. So let's just say for shits and giggles that number 2 is the Willie. He's going to spill over the top. The QB knows that's our pitch key. Now the number 2 spills over. Guess what? Now we pitch the football if he takes the QB. If he takes the back, QB keeps it. We have a rule called hash number sideline. That means we're staying away from bad guys. That means the QB is going to go to the hash, to the number, to the sideline. That's going to be the QB's rules if he doesn't pitch the ball. The play that I'm going to show you today, however, is to keep our QBs high and dry. That means we don't have an athletic freak. We have a guy that's more of a, maybe let's just call him cerebral, a little stiffer, a little less athletic. So what we want to do is now we're going to run a double option scheme, all right? We're going to run the same football play, but we're going to run it in a double option schematic, okay? So now what we're going to do is we're going to load him with whatever receiver formation we're going to run it out of, all right? We're going to now load that or block whoever's over him, inside of him, on, off, or inside is the rule I like to use based on that. Now, instead of swinging him for a pitch, we're going to slip him in the flat. So now we're going to block number 2 in all schematics here. We're going to block number 2. So now the QB either shovels the ball off of 1 or he throws the football to the back because one canceled. So it is a double option play. You either shovel the QB to the shovel back, or you throw the ball to the back in the backfield. There is no more running for the QB. So if one cancels, now the QB understands we're blocking force, we're blocking number 2 in triple option, which I showed you before. Now we're just throwing the football to number 2 instead of pitching off of number 2 and run triple option. This is a double option football play, gives you the same optic, the same look, but keeps your QB high and dry, keeps him out of harm's way. Let's show you some film and kind of break it down a little better. So we're going to get to the film now and understand something on this film here. Let's share the screen here. This is a little Penn State film that I happened to get from Coach Franklin, good friend of mine. We're going to show you a little. I'm going to get rid of myself and pull up the screen here. Okay. So here we go. This is the same play I just kind of showed you out of the same slotted 20 personnel set. What we're going to get is here the same thing that I just diagrammed for you. All right, we'll write it in red here. So what we're going to get is a hi-hat back. We're going to get a skip pull, right? And then we're going to get the read key right here, yellow. That's the shovel key, okay? The shovel read is there. Now, depending on who we go block, based on what he does, who are we pitching off of or shoveling off of or throwing off of? The yellow circle is the indicator of the shovel. Let's check it out. So that right tackle, instead of going all the way backside to the backside backer, as I just drew up for you, he has to stay kind of close to the line of scrimmage because the QB could throw this football, all right? Based on what the defensive end, who's number 1, we call number 1, what he does. If he wants to cancel and scream downhill, and then we know we can't shovel the football. If the defensive end were to go up the field, we're going to get width and depth, and we're going to shovel the football to the wing back here. So the defensive end canceled, so we can't shovel it. So now we're going to throw it to number 2, our back in the flat. Right now, we're blocking number 2, the force player. So we've decided to block this right here. And now we're going to get rid of the football in the flat right away because the defensive end canceled the play. And we'll get it and get that. Let's show you the end zone copy. So what we're seeing is defensive end's going to go up the field. Then we're going to get width and depth, and we're going to shovel the football. We're going to shovel this ball right there behind the guard pulling if this defensive end were to go upfield. Since he crashed and canceled he canceled the shovel, okay? Now we have to deal with this scraper, or we're going to have to either run triple option because we can't block them all, or if we're going to run double option, the play that I showed you last on the board, we will just straight up number 2, get the ball to him now. Get the ball to him now, and that is what you get. Now, if you want a little sneak preview on what Coach JB would do if we get this game, this is a football play that defenses run we call a tipsy-turvy game. That means that they know we're going to get shovel option out of this look on defense, on offense. The defense knows this. So what they do is they cancel shovel, and they spill the backer. So that means that the defensive end takes the back and the spill player takes the QB. That's a game you run to stop shovel option. Later on in life, when I became a better coach, what I started to do is run the same scheme. And what I would do is now we would just straight up log this defensive end, look like it's the same play. Instead of we would log that. And now we know that the backer spilled, and guess what we did? We strung it out and still shoveled the ball to the back. And look at this. Voila, touchdown. So there's multiple ways to do this if you know this backer spilling out of the box. So that is just another way of running it in case they think, okay, he's not shoveling, he's canceling. So now we're coming out here throwing the ball. on this double option football play. But there is a counter to it, and that is to log the D in and shovel it late, and it becomes a long handoff play. And this can be a very successful one to really hold your spill backer that you're not blocking in place in check. The other way to do it is you have to start sending somebody in there, an MDM guy, some type of receiver, someone, or you have to take the back and put them on him and then use the receiver in bubble phase. There's multiple ways to do this. This is just episode 1 of Coach JB's Chalk Talk. And hey, man, there's a lot more coming. I'll show you some triple option next time. But any suggestions you have, any plays you want me to break down, leave them in the comments below. I'll get to it. I'll be doing this show every single day, Coach JB's Chalk Talk. This is episode 1, power option, keeping the quarterback high and dry. And I appreciate everybody, man. And pound that like button, subscribe, become a member. And I will see you guys tomorrow. Peace.
Because this is what it's all for. It's all about this. You play for this. No matter what level you're at, you play for championship.
Said, there's an interview, and we're going to make sure that I find out what does this guy know.